Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be discussing, in my opinion, Titan's by far best exotic. This is better than Crest of the Falling Star, better than Ursa Furiosa, and even better than Helmsing 14. Today we are discussing Crest of Alpha Lupi. Crest is an exotic chess piece that has the exotic perk Survival Well. The perk states, generates an additional orb of power from supers and a healing pulse when Barricade is activated. I think many people look at this exotic and say, well, that's not very useful. Well, sadly, you are wrong. The extra orb on something like a bubble is extremely strong. You generate 4 of the largest orbs in the game, which makes you pop a soon-to-be tier 5 super, which will cooldown, and then you can give those 4 large orbs to either of your roaming supers on your team or help give someone a well back. Not only are you generating an extra orb on Bubble Pop, which I personally think would make this exotic good enough to use anyway, it also consistently gives you about a third of your health back every single time you pop a barricade. Oh, and did I mention that it also does this to any close by teammates? This exotic is truly underrated and underappreciated, and in today's build, the one I have for you will help you abuse this exotic to its full potential. Okay, let's head into the build now that I have for you today. First up, our helmet is set to Void, and it has Protective Light on it. You could run Dynamo in the extra slots, though I would personally not recommend it because you aren't going to be able to pop the barricade fast enough to heal when near lots of enemies to properly proc Dynamo. The animation on barricade pop is very slow, and you kind of can't panic pop it, you kind of have to controlled pop it, because of how long the animation is on the barricade pop. But if you learn the animation timing, and you learn when you can pop it to get the heal and when you can't, this exotic is incredibly clutch. In fact, I would actually leave this open for the future and let you run the new orb mod for kinetic weapons, since I assume, this is a huge assumption, that you'll be able to run that mod on all armor types and not have to worry about running a specific affinity for that mod. Next up, we have the gloves, which are also set to Void. I currently only have a Will of Utility on it, though this gives you plenty of space to run champion mods, if you need them, and or bolstering detonation in the future to either help get your class ability back even faster, or run this in in-game content, is where I think this exotic and build truly shines the best. If you need to be on Bubble for in-game content, I would highly recommend you throwing on this build. I even run it on other subclasses. You can run it on, you need to be on Hammered. You can run it with Hammers. You need to be on, Stasis. You could honestly take my same Stasis build that I have on Heart of Inmost Light. Sorry, I completely blanked out the name of the exotic. Heart of Inmost Light, and just change the mods around to be on this with Crest of Alpha Lupi, and honestly, it would work probably just as well. This exotic is really strong. Next up is our chess piece. Our chess piece is, as I said, Crest of Alpha Lupi, and I currently have it set to Solar, though my preference would be to have this on Void, so that way I could run this mod. I could run a Repeat Wallmaker here instead of on my boots, and so I could run Recuperation on my boots. The mods here, since it is on Solar, I have 1 copy of Bountiful Wells to help me generate 2 wells with that Reaping Wallmaker that I mentioned, which, for today's video, I have my boots. My boots are currently set to Void, though I would prefer them to be on Solar, as I stated, so that way I could run Recuperation. The mod here is that Reaping Wellmaker that I've mentioned, and this mod is incredibly underrated mod as well. Anytime you activate your class ability, any of the 3 class abilities in the game, the Barricade, the Rift, or the Dodge, the next weapon kill, not sorry, primary weapon, any weapon kill in the game, next weapon kill of any kind, generates 2 Void Elemental Wills. I am currently using these Void Elemental Wells to, 1, make me charge with light, 2, to make me proc Well of Utility to help get me back my barricade a little faster. I do not believe that people understand how strong this mod is, and it is incredibly good. You could also run it with Well of Tenacity. You could run, Well of Tenacity and Elemental Time Dilation with this mod as well, and now you have 15% damage reduction for a little longer than you have had before. You could run 2 Well of Tenacities with this mod, with a Bountiful Wells and a Elemental Time Dilation, and now you're going to have probably 30 to 40 seconds of, probably more like 20 seconds of 15% damage reduction. Heck, if you really want to, you could stack 3 of them, because you only need literally Reaping Wellmaker and Elemental Time Dilation to abuse Well of Tenacity. To take off Bountiful Wells if you really wanted to. Though I personally wouldn't take off Bountiful Wells from any Elemental Will build. I kind of feel like Bountiful Wells is kind of the old global reach of War Mine Cells. It's kind of like the first one you throw on. Because the extra Elemental Will just makes everything so much better. On my class item, let's hit the Stasis, currently with with 2 utility kickstarts. Sorry, not well of utility. 2 utility kickstarts. Though you can take these off if you need to. If you need to run particle deconstruction, which you probably should, but you don't have to on this build since you're going to be on bubble more than likely with it. You could run protective light here. No, sorry, particle deconstruction here. If you take off the utility kickstarts, if you need to. I probably would, but you don't have to. I also have a copy of the charge, so that way when those Void Elementals do spawn, I can charge with light, so that way I can use that protective light to help me better stay alive. That is all I have for you on the build, but as usual, before I go, I just wanted to give you some tips. Try not to use a Void weapon, because you're going to want to switch to Elemental Armaments. If you do, Elemental Armaments is a 4-cost mod, a 2-cost mod as well, but I feel like getting used to running Reaping Wellmaker first before you throw in Elemental Armaments is better, and you'll see that Elemental Armaments is less consistent than Reaping Wellmaker, and you really just want the Void Wells, and so being able to just run Reaping Wellmaker and free yourself of running, just be able to run any weapon type you want, really frees up this build. That is all I have for you. If you can, before I go, if you can, put those boots on solar. It would be preferred to run recuperation. That's all I have for you, as I already said, but I will see everybody on Friday for a brand new video. Thanks everyone for all the support recently, and thanks for the new subs that have come in recently. I appreciate every one of you. But lastly, don't forget to like and please subscribe if you haven't. That's all, and goodbye.